tea and it's hot like steam. Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz? What's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Brutsy code.
Good afternoon, good people. You are watching Brutsy Entertainment. I am joined with my lovely co-host over here, the lovely Kitty. Kitty, how are we doing today?
Exhausted. I Lady Gaga last night. I went to see Lady Gaga and I didn't get home I got home, but I didn't get to bed till about 4 o'clock this morning. So I'm absolutely exhausted, but I had an absolute fantastic time. But yeah, I'm Lady Gaga.
Okay. One place to start. It's our main story of the day, guys. KEMI BADENOCH. Is it BADENOCH or BADENOCH? I'm not sure. It's BADENOCH, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was BADENOCH, like you.
Yeah, I thought it was BADENOCH, but it is spelled BADENOCH. So I think it's BADENOCH. So let's just short. Old KEMI for sure. Anyway, KEMI over here. KEMI, she's breaking all sorts of trends at the minute, and she's had a lot to say, especially in terms of the unemployment. She's ruffled a few feathers. Let's have a little listen to what old KEMI has said. Let's start with this one.
Right now, there are 6.5 million working age
6.5 million working age adults
being paid to sit at home all day. We cannot expect people to get up and go to work and pay more and more in taxes to subsidize millions of others not to work. It should not be controversial to say this.
And it isn't controversial, old KEMI. 6.5 working age adults, 6.5 million, working age adults that are sitting around, I don't know what they're doing at home, being paid to relax, basically. What do we think?
I'm so glad somebody said it out loud. I'm just so glad. Obviously, she's conservative. I've just had to check that with the internet. And we've talked about this in other subjects, you know, like, and especially with the youth growing up today. I don't understand why they've got no self-respect. I've struggled with mental health. I've done all this, and and I have an autoimmune disease.
Yep.
But I worked and I've grafted. I don't see myself I could never hold my head up just living on benefits. So I think it's good that they're being called out because they need to be called out. If you can work, and I am not, right, before anybody jumps on me, I am not talking about severely disabled people or genuine, cases of mental health and so on and so forth. I know people, my own daughter is going to be one of these people. She's never going to be able to work. That is what this benefit system is meant to do. It is meant to help those people, not the people that are swinging the lead. And that includes illegal immigrants that now come in and all of a sudden know all the benefit system and know how to swing it. So, yeah, if you can work and you are fit to work and you are considered fit to work, you should work.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like KEMI's got some serious plans in place to get people back to work. And like I said before, at some stages in people's lives, they fall down a rabbit hole and they get stuck in the system where they just, where they can't work and for whatever reason and need to go on the benefit system. And it's there to give people that little prop and help them out when they're at their most desperate needs. But I feel like what's happening is people are taking advantage of this system. People are saying, like, openly coming out saying, nah, my mental health, man, I couldn't go do some sort of job over there. My mental health will be too bad. Like, that's not fair for the millions of people that are going to work to subsidize these people. I want to stick to our homegrown people here that are not working, the 6.5 million people that are not working, not contributing to society, and just basically saying, oh, they're just having a bad time and, they can't be asked to get back to work, basically, mental health has gone crazy and all the rest of it.
Sometimes as well, a lot of them, it's like, if I go to work, I get £40 more.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're hearing. That can't be allowed anymore. I don't think that can be allowed because if everyone felt like that, the world would crumble. Literally, our country would crumble if everyone felt like that. Oh, I'm only £500 better off if I go to work. I may as well stay at home on benefits, But
then you've got the conscience side of it as well. So you've got, if we were to take that money off them, what are we going to do? We're going to starve them. Oh, I'm only thinking out loud of how.
Well, people keep begging for it to be like America, don't they?
Well, yeah, this is it. You want, as we've said, careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. I think this could be the saving grace of the Conservatives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
This policy could be the saving grace because that's one of the biggest issues in this country is people that are sat when they shouldn't be, and they are making it so hard for those that are ill. I will also state this, and what people don't realise is the PIP system, which is the personal independence scheme, is there to actually back up people that are employed.
Yeah.
So you could go to work and still claim PIP. A lot of people don't understand that. So what you would get is a like if your mental health is that bad.
Have you seen what Gary Smith has put over there? Don't repeat it because of TikTok.
No.
But yeah.
No. I've got answers.
That's very intellectual of you. I'm assuming this has hit Gary wrong, and obviously Gary's one of these people that are sat around claiming the benefits.
You're obviously sat around doing nothing.
He's a serial benefiter.
Yeah.
And he's on his fifth pseudonym at the minute.
Yeah. You should.
Sorry, guys, we're getting some other comments coming in from other platforms.
Anyway, so the point is the PIP system is there to also support those in work. So if you go to work and your anxiety is that bad that you don't want to go on public transport, the PIP system is there to maybe get you a cab so that you're alone. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's designed to keep you in work.
Yep.
A lot of people just use it, and like she said, people are with ADHD and so on.
Wait a minute. Let's move over to that one. This is the one where she talks about people with ADHD and stuff. Let's go over to it now.
We will restrict benefits to those with the more severe mental health conditions, not anxiety or mild depression. Yes, these challenges are real and people should get support, but they cannot be treated as a reason for a lifetime off work. We will restrict mobility vehicles to people with serious disabilities.
So people with severe mental health, you can't expect you can't expect people with anxiety to be on benefits forever. And also she's attacking the mobility vehicles now, which I do think some people are violating the system. Like, fair enough if you're disabled, you've got someone that's disabled and you're that carer for that person, but someone with anxiety and ADHD, you can't make a serious argument to say that she requires they require a disability car.
This is what I'm saying. So the PIP system, so the Motability Scheme is under the PIP system. Obviously, this is something I know about because of my daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So this is my field. So the Motability Scheme is under the PIP system. So what you do is you get two sides of it, and you get the care and the mobility. If you qualify on high mobility, you've got the offer or the chance to go and put that towards a brand new car every 3 years. everything's done for you. There are those that genuinely need it, and like I've said before, this is to be put into place to help your life and your living experience. So if for instance you've only got one leg, you can get an automatic car, drive to work, and blah blah.
Yeah.
This is what these systems are set up for, to help you with your living day to day, not just to be driving around in a brand new car because you sit there and go, I've got ADHD.
And that's gonna, because people will say, wait a minute, it's not like they're giving us, we're entitled to PIP, and rather than us spending that money, we're using it to spend on the vehicle. But it is a subsidized project,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a subsidized, because you're getting brand new cars, you're getting them replaced every 3 years, you're getting the insurance paid for you, so
Tires,
everything, everything.
you don't fix it. The thing you do is put petrol in and drive.
Okay.
That's it.
So what about someone with really bad ADHD and they make the argument that I need a PIP vehicle? I need one of these fancy vehicles every 3 years.
Well, the way that I would look at it is, if somebody with a child with ADHD, right, may need it, because at some point that child may be on the bus screaming and banging its head because it can't cope, or like Mia with her autism. There's that side of it. There are situations where a parent may need that car to get that child from A to B. You've got to understand
But
that
some people might say though that, just because this person has ADHD, does that really mean that they're entitled to a car? Whereas there are single mums out here that don't have any sort of disabilities or anything like that. They still have those same things. Like, they may not. It's still stressful, like you just said. Even if like there are people out there that are claiming nothing, not getting anything, and they have 5 or 6 children that they have to throw on a bus and they have to deal with all the headache and everything. Those people might say, wait a minute, why aren't we getting this? We're actually working and contributing to things and stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are, like you said, there are levels of ADHD. I suppose really I'm looking at it from my point of view. My daughter, obviously, I am very open about the fact she has autism, ADHD, and learning difficulties.
Yeah. But I think when people have it's much more serious than ADHD, I would say.
Yeah, so and she has dyspraxia, which means she can fall over and hurt herself quite a lot. So she's considered high rate. I've seen children on buses, and I can spot things, and I'm like, yeah, there's a Mia, and I can see it, and I think to myself, oh, I bet they'd be a lot better in their own car. They feel a lot more secure and whatever.
Yeah.
That's like you say, that's the most severe cases.
Yeah.
What should be happening is, like you say, if it's just ADHD and they're full of energy.
Yeah.
Why,
I've heard epilepsy is one of those ones that's really always confused me. Like, because I don't know, maybe you'll be able to shed some light on it. I've known people with epilepsy, mild and sort of moderate, and they've been entitled to disability vehicles. And I've always said to myself, if you've got epilepsy, should you actually even be driving and stuff like that? Like,
It could be that their partner drives them. So
wow. Sorry, 1 second here. Marie Floodgate has epilepsy and she drives also. So that's quite interesting.
But like you say, there are different situations, and we are not experts in this.
No.
The thing I am expert in is the care that I get for my daughter. The PIP system is terrible. It's awful for genuine people that are genuinely ill and are unable to work and have situations where they just can't work. I get that. But we also know, like any situation, there are those that will take advantage of it. And that these are the people she's going to gun for. And she's coming for you. If she gets in,
she does seem to be speaking, and she's also taken away the stamp duty as well. I don't know if you've heard about that. Stamp duty is going to be finished under them. But mine is under control, thankfully, and I don't claim anything, and so thankful meds control this. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah. That is the sort of thing that the benefits, this PIP system is set up for. I mean, I don't know whether she claims PIP, but that's the sort of thing that PIP is there for, to support you in those, that you may need extra help. You may need that car to get you to work, to make sure that you get to work and things like that. that is what this scheme was all made for. Not for people that have got generational, and we know there are generational benefits.
Yeah, that's got to change, because honestly, you can't have mum and dad not working, the daughters are not working, they're shooting out loads of children, they're not working, like everyone's like the whole of them, like no one wants to go to work, like, you know, oh, it's not worth it, I'll just stay at home and claim benefits, and if the government try and make me go to work, I'll say I'm suicidal and stuff like that. Like, you know, this is unfortunately, this is what we're doing.
I mean, even the benefit that you get to go back to work, which is
not a lifetime support, 100%. Sorry, Kate.
You know, like tax credits, and I know it's all under the universal credit now, but you remember it used to be called the working tax credit. So if you worked 16 hours and you were a single mum, they topped you up.
Yeah.
Now again, that is a benefit to get you back to work. We're not calling those benefits out before anybody goes, I get, you know, such and such, and I'm working 16 plus hours. We're not calling you out. We're not calling you out at all.
Yeah, for those people that have just joined us, we're talking about KEMI BADENOCH. She's if she gets into power, she's going to be clamping down on the 6.5 adults not working, and also taking disability vehicles away from people that have sort of milder sort of symptoms, so to speak. Like, for instance, people with mild depression, people with ADHD. I don't know if if anyone's got an argument for it, I would love to hear it. Maria, make sure you give me a message, because I'd love to have you on and talk to you a bit more individually about this sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, overall, from my perspective, people taking the P, get them back to work, get those vehicles off them. But I'm sure that there's people out there that do need these services, and these people are definitely there for that. And you know, I'm not here saying that everyone on benefits is a scumbag or anything like that. I know the benefit system is needed for some people, but what we're talking about and what Kemi's talking about, you can't have 6.5 million adults off work and everyone else subsidizing these people. And the worst part of that is this is where immigration comes in. So sometimes there's areas where everyone isn't working. Like, you can have the whole council. I don't want to put the council down or anything like that, but you know, you can have a whole council estate with people doing exactly the same thing, not working, got too much time on their hands, and jobs need to be filled in these areas. Like, you know, and who's going to fill them if none of you are working? And this is where immigration comes in, where they have to pull people in. You can message me on TikTok, Marie.
The entitlement of some people is just absolutely ridiculous. Why should I go and, you know, clean floors? Why should I do this?
That's it. Too good to clean floors. Too good to be a postman. Too good to be a binman. Like people have just, like, you know, they're just too good to do it's just, I just think people have just lost. Social media has done this to people, where it's made them think that, obviously, it's good, social media. You can see all these lovely things. You can see people's dreams coming true and stuff. But most of these people have done the work to do it, or they've grinded in some way, like, you know. But they didn't. Like, can you imagine just sitting around waiting for nothing, like waiting for the next gyro check or something like that? Like, you know, I couldn't imagine that.
You know, right? You and I, we've talked. Marie. You know my work ethic. It's boom, let's go. Yep. I can't sit on my laurels and do nothing. And I look at people that do it, and I think, how can you do it? How can you have any self-respect if you're sitting there day in, day out? You know, and can you remember when the Marcus Rashford did all that thing for the school, children eating, because you found out that a lot of them were going to supermarkets and buying cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah, and that says it all, doesn't it? I was thinking about this the other day. How could we make people's lives better and stuff like that? Then I thought about all these lovely things, helping people out. But people, unfortunately, in this country, they're selfish, some of them. Like, you know, you will get people that are just like want cigarettes, rather than, like, Marcus Rashford done this campaign to put food in these young kids' bellies to make sure no one goes to school hungry, like, which was an amazing thing. But then you had people that are parents that, unfortunately, you know, thinking about themselves, thinking about trying to buy alcohol with that thing. And I know everyone needs a little break, and sometimes you need that little bit of thing. And obviously, I know about addiction. Like, I used to be a really bad gambler when I was younger. So people addicted to cigarettes and alcohol, I know it's not easy. But if it's a question of feeding my kids or putting a bet on, I'm most likely going to feed my kids. And I feel like that's where people should be. But it just seemed like some people ain't interested in that. Guys, I've pinned up there, Brudsy Entertainment on YouTube live right now. There is a link in the chat. If anyone wants to take part in this show, you can actually come in and take part in it. All you have to do is go to Brudsy Entertainment or Tall Lady Kitty on YouTube. We're live right now. There's a link in the chat. Just click on it and it'll bring you straight in. No, British history and society has built some of its citizens to be presenters and presenters and privileged. Okay. Presumptuous. Okay, yes. And people are like, this country's way too easy. Like, it's way too easy. Like, even everyone could admit that we're letting people run amok with us. Like, we are. Like, and I heard about, I can't remember, I didn't get all the information, but I heard about this system where there's a disability, I can't remember what it was, but if you say that you've got it, apparently it's really hard to detect, and you can get a cash advance. I think it's the worst thing they could have done by advertising it on TikTok. Darkshade, how are you? But yeah, Kitty, are we done with this one? Do you want to move on to the next one?
Oh, sorry, there was something else I was going to say.
Sorry, I hate it when I do that myself, to be fair.
No, I've forgotten it. I just think, right, guys, listen. Get out there and do something. Sometimes your mental health is because you are sitting around doing sod.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe start with a part-time job. Start with an unpaid job, because I do know that the job centres and that, they do send you to do unpaid work now at charity shops and things like that.
Should be mandatory. Should be mandatory.
It should be mandatory. It should be. If you can work, you should be working in some capacity, whether it be litter picking, whether it be, cleaning up parks, painting the railings, that sort of thing. Put back into the community. But do you know what? You'll get so much pride from it. So much pride. I know there's no pride in cleaning stuff, but when you see things, I've done that. And if you have got slight mental health, or you've got a little bit of mental health, it does sort of restore your self-worth a little bit.
But unfortunately, when it's generational, if you've seen your mum live like that, and you've seen your dad live like that, you see everyone that lives like that, that's your environment. Your people's environment programs their mind to think that, like, it's almost like a matrix to think this is normal. So in their eyes, this is it, we sit around, we moan about everything that we don't have, and we claim our benefits. Like, the demoralizing side to this is obviously having to keep going to the doctors and stuff like that, and pretending that you're something that you're not, almost just to get these benefits. That must be the worst part of it, especially as a man. Like, you're meant to have your pride about you, which is really, that's one that's really difficult.
Do you know the forms for PIP? Moralizing forms I have ever had to write in my life, and I have written a few of them.
I know.
And it is constantly telling the world what she can't do, what she'll never do, how she'll never have this and she'll never have that, and she can't do this for herself. Why would you want to do that? I know money is
Kitty, unfortunately, you have to do that when, like, people like you that actually need the system for your daughter, for your disabled daughter and stuff. You have to do that because there's people out there that are abusing the system. That's unfortunately why they've made it. They've scrutinized everyone. Like, you kind of have to sign away your dignity almost with it. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, she can't do that. Like, and luckily, and you're like, you have a genuine case, so you don't have to lie about it. Like, but some people, like, when they did that test thing, and when they had to go in and people had to do those test things, and they had cameras set up in the buildings, people were running up the stairs and then getting in the room and saying, oh, I can't raise my arm like this. Like,
like you say, this is why it annoys me so much, because I have to fill these forms in. It makes me cry, having to, again, think over and over again about how my daughter's life is, is impacted by this disability. It's horrible. It's demoralizing. I don't understand why you'd want to put yourself through that. But I do get that there is a cash prize, so to speak, at the end. But I was always brought up to work. You graft.
That's it, though. That's it. If you're brought up like that, that's how you're going to be. If people aren't brought up like that, and you're just surrounded by people that are doing the same thing, that's gonna be their norm.
You and I have talked about our past because we was like, well, shall we run for Prime Minister? And was like, no, neither of us can do it because of the old past, right? I've done a few shady things in the years gone by, you know, and this, that, and then I've dabbled in this, that, and then. But I tell you what, I didn't just sit there and dabble. I went out and bloody grafted while I was doing it. Do you get what?
Laura, 100%. There are genuine people out there that need all sorts of benefits. Like, you know, we said this at the start of this conversation, guys. We know that there's people out there that need all these sort of systems and help and assistance to help them with their lives for whatever circumstances that they're in. But what we're talking about is the people that are just taking the pee basically and just ripping off everyone else that's going to work. Like most of the time you hear people say things like, oh, I'll only be £200 better off. I'm better off staying at home. Like, you know, yeah, 6.5 million is too much. Like, come on, that's way too much. Can you imagine the tax benefits for just 1 million of those people going back to work? Like for us, like, you know, God knows how much that is in taxes and revenue for the country. Like, you know, and you know, unfortunately, these 6.5 million people. A portion of that will be people that have got so much to say on social media and say things like, you know, oh, they're taking our jobs and all these things like that. And they never intended to work. They never want to work. They just want to stay at home, get their benefits, buy their cigarettes. And, you know, just unfortunately, that's the people. That's it. That's it, people. It's the people exploiting the system. And we have to root them out. We have to root them out.
It's horrible for those, like you say, that genuinely need it. And they're the ones that I feel sorry for. It's the bad apples that are making it bad. Do you know there are a lot of people out there that don't even say that they're on these benefits because they're embarrassed about it, because they know they need it, but they just know what they're going to be tarred with because of those people that swing the lead. There are actual websites where they help you, you know, what to say, how to do it. People are making money off that as well. If you say this, they can't touch you. You do this, you can't. You know, one of them.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You know, and people like myself, like I say, who have to do this every 3 years. I will go to someone. I mean, now Mia's got what they call a social worker, an adult social worker for her care to help, and they'll do it all with my help.
Gone.
Have I gone?
No, you're back now. You're back now. Let's move on to the next subject quickly, and let's see which one we got here. I think this is the one I'm looking for. This is an ice. This is an ice raid, guys. This guy, he's on his way to the hospital to pick up his wife's 8 months pregnant. Actually, this one actually, that's another one I was talking about. ICE just picking up hardworking people and savagely deporting them. Doing on school runs, they're picking parents up at school runs, just pulling them out of the car, guys. Like, Kitty, what do you think? Like, you know, hearing all these kids crying. I know it's American politics, but it's something that I see. And who are ICE? ICE are like the American sort of deportation police. Basically, they deport the immigrants that are over there that shouldn't be there. But Donald Trump's crackdown has meant that. Initially, when he came in, he said that he was going to get rid of like the illegals first, like, you know, the people that were doing bad things in the country, and they are literally at the schools. People are doing school runs, and they are just yanking them out the car in front of their kids, like, you know, and deporting them, like, you know, it's savage, real savage.
I said this to you earlier, didn't I? I think it's lazy for a start. I think it's very lazy. I think there is better ways to do it. I think if somebody's got to go, they've got to go. That's not, it's not my place to say who and what, right? That's their business. But I think it's lazy. I think it's disgusting to do it in front of children. Have some respect. If that child is now considered a citizen of USA, surely you have to take that into consideration. But I did hear a rumour that now children that are born in the USA to illegal parents are not classed as
And that's in their constitution as well. The laws that they live by. If you're born in this country, that makes you an American citizen. That's part of their constitution, but they've taken it away. But nothing surprises me. Have you seen Donald Trump's announcement yesterday that he's taken away free speech from Antifa? He's made
yeah.
them a terrorist organization now, so they can't. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like I'm in power now. The people that are opposed to me, I'm going to take away their free speech. And this is something that he literally ran on, like, we can't say what we want to say, free speech, you can't take it away, you should be able to say exactly what you want to say. And it seems like it was all BS, and it's just, if we don't like what you say, if it offends us, we're going to stop it, and...
But, I mean, we're going to touch on this anyway later because there's another subject. But some of these left-wing Antifa and so on are quite dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
They are absolutely dangerous. We know the damn. I mean, we've only got to look at Charlie Kirk. Whether you agreed with his policies or you didn't agree with his policies, it's he didn't deserve to be ended for it.
No.
That's just ridiculous.
Well, Candace Owens has put a lot of light on that situation, and it has, and I mean, just looking at the very basics of that story, something sounds off. Something sounds real off. Even just the dynamics of the shot,
But I went down a rabbit hole on that as well. I went down a scroll hole on that, and apparently, from what I can gather, she's just doing this for click. The clickbait thing.
Well, she's released some private messages between her and Charlie Kirk, which every one of the big podcasters picked up and ran with. Where Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk is saying to her, I keep losing all these Israeli donors, and it looks like I'm gonna have to move away from trying to sort of push their narrative and sort of protect them, because to his credit, he wasn't just like a paid and bought person. He had his own thoughts. But the shooter alone, somewhat, bear in mind, the shot is in his neck right there. The guy's 200 yards away. And even even just what the very basics, they said that, to get that person in the neck from the angle of where he was, the bullet would have had to have gone through his jaw to actually get there. And then there's the fact that the bullet stayed in there. They reckon that the bullet from a sniper, anyone knows anything, hunters have used the exact same gun and have said that when I shoot a big game animal, if I shoot them from that range with that same bullet, with that same gun, the back end of that would be an explosion that you would never want to see in your life. He said it would have been horrendous if, in fact, it was shot the way they said. So I don't know where you go with it, though.
Right, that's my homework for tonight. I'll have a look.
Yeah.
But going back to this Antifa thing, and they are a danger. To me, they're a danger. They're as radicalized, I would say, as extreme terrorists.
Thank you for the follows, guys.
Extreme terrorists, to me, they are dangerous, because, like you say, we've got footage of someone talking about it that we'll show you soon, of what they're saying, and okay, this might not be actual Antifa, but when somebody's radicalized, they're radicalized. Yeah. And it frightens me. But going back to the ICE thing, I think it's just so lazy, isn't it?
Yep. Next story, guys. Next story. A loving mother is going viral online at the minute. Let's have a little look and see why.
Here is my transgender baby. Her name is Bella. Bella was born a boy, but now uses she, her pronoun. Here is my transgender baby. Her name is Bella. Bella was born a boy, but now uses she.
Bella is would you say even 1 year old?
Mm-hmm, I would say.
And she identifies as she, them, or whatever it was that she said there. She's transgender as well. What do you think about this?
I think the mum wants. I just think the mum wants shaking. I just think the world's gone mad. How can a child say that? I've always talked about the person that I know who's transgender, and this will say she was a girl at the time, when she was 3 or 4, used to say, "I'm not a girl, I'm a boy." She was. Nothing was ever done. Nothing was ever done. We just let her live the way she wanted to live and do what she wanted. And then she said, "I want to be known as such and such and such and such." This has taken years and years and years and years, and now you wouldn't even know, by the way, that this person was biologically female. If how can you even tell your mum at that age?
You can't. To be honest with you, you can't. And it's become like a trend now that mums, like, the worst one. I haven't actually even showed. No, this is the one. No, there's one where it's the same sort of situation, and the mum is forcing the biological dad, to pay for those drug things, and it's being put on the guys. It's being put on the dad's. What's their benefits? What's their thing called? It's like the maintenance money sort of thing. It's been put on his maintenance money, and the dad said that he's not paying it. So the dad's actually in a legal battle at the minute. I think Trump will step in at the minute because it's mainstream media and it's up Trump's alley. But the guy's looking at prison because he won't pay for gender.
Child support, isn't it? The child. Yeah. That's what you're on about. Yeah. At that age, you can't even tell. They can't even talk. A child can't.
That child can't talk, for sure. That child can't talk, and it can't identify as anything. It's the mum that's, let's have a look at it one more time.
Here is my transgender baby. Her name is Bella. Bella was born a boy, but now uses she, her pronoun. Here.
Bella, she, her.
Charlie Kirk used to say that it is a delusion. Right? And we are happy to play along with your delusion to a certain degree. We are not going to play along with giving them hormones and whatever. This is the direct example of what he was talking about. That's the delusion of a mother or somebody doing this for clickbait. Could be clickbait. But that delusion is the mother's.
Yeah, no, it could be clickbait, but there's so many situations just like that. There's so many, like, this one may be a troll. It may be a troll, but there's so many real ones just like it. It's a real problem. Like, a dad is facing jail time in America for not paying for these drugs that are going to be given to his kid.
Why would you want to fill your child with hormones, fake hormones? I don't understand. Why would you want to put your child through this? That, to me, screams of Munchausen's by proxy, which is where you are literally making your child either ill or centre of attention for something.
Yeah.
For your attention.
Yeah.
So you can go, look at me, aren't I a great mum?
Someone's having a conversation in the chat, and they're saying someone's saying it's for clout, and then someone's also saying even if it is clout, it's not funny. I think it could do a lot of harm, and I think when you tell children certain things, you might have other issues, and we have another video which could sort of maybe correlate to that.
It's none of your fucking business.
Or I think my business is not your business.
Our biological sex does not decide what toilets we use, our brain does. Let adults decide what toilets to fucking go in. Where we do our business is none of your fucking business!
None of your
Watch that again really quickly.
Or I think my business is not your business.
Our biological sex does not decide what toilets we use, our brain does. Let adults decide what toilets to fucking go in. Where we do our business is none of your fucking business!
Alrighty ho. Where we do our business, it's none of your effing business, apparently. What do you think? I like to stay away from these ones. I like to let women talk first because, like, I don't have to worry about going in a woman's bath. I don't have to worry about that. But women, it's your bathrooms and stuff like that, So what do you think?
Every single one of them I wouldn't have a problem with. Do you know that? Because they're young people. Some of them are not even passable. Right? The ones that women have the problem with are the ones you're going to show in a minute, with the glasses and the.
Yeah. Let me just find that one. I think I've slightly misplaced that video. 1 second.
No, I'll send it to you again because I've got.
Yeah, send it to me so I can just grab it quickly.
So they're the ones we've got the problems with, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. To me, I wouldn't be bothered about them being in my bathroom. Okay. It also It looks like they're gender neutral bathrooms. Can I just say? So, you know, those ones I was telling you about, they're cubicles basically that you go in and you do, which is fine. I've got no problem. But I point out that women, when they're in bathrooms, have real problems with, you know, hormones and so on and so forth. We don't want to be around these sort of people.
I'm a 40-year-old transgender lesbian. I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. The time to act is now. I do not fear Christians. I do not fear conservatives. I do not fear evangelicals. And I do not fear Republicans. You're going to know what fear actually feels like. There are lots of people like me who are not afraid to die. You've been warned.
Not afraid to die. How dare you try and stop me going into this bathroom? Call for action. It's time to arm up. President Trump has actually been flirting with the idea of taking gun rights away from the transgender community. That's a whole other argument. But, you know, this person, they seem to be very very strong on their thoughts. Like, and I've spoken to a lot of other trans people that identify as trans to say that say the same thing. If you try and stop me from going in that bathroom, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be fights. I think Trump has put laws in place now, to be honest with you. But the call to action to arm up, and it's a movement as well. It's actually a movement that they're pushing at the minute in America to arm up.
Would you want that person around your child when they're coming out of the bathroom?
No,
one of your children came out and went, "Dad, that man was in the bathroom," and there's one content creator that purposely goes into women's bathrooms and takes selfies with women coming out the bathroom as well. I don't think it's right. Most transgender people will fit in with society and they'll just go about their day. And like I say, most of those in that first video.
Well, definitely not that person that's calling for shooting and stuff like that. Definitely not that person that's calling for shots.
But more to that, he's not near my kids. I don't want him near my kids.
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of person around my children.
Yeah.
One is very angry. You know, if you go to someone, say they're not passable, right?
Yeah.
And you say to them, "Excuse me, do you mind just waiting?" Or you walk in and you walk out because you're going to wait till they've been in the bathroom because you've got your child with you, right? Maybe you're not going to kick off and say, "Get out the bathroom." He would take that as an offence, right? And then come out and start screaming and shouting. I've seen this content creator before. This is not his first rodeo of threatening people. He's threatened people so many times about, "I will walk into any bathroom I like. I don't care. How dare you tell me I'm not allowed in my bathroom? Me and you will go toe to toe. That's how much you will not go in that bathroom while my children are there."
Well, it's dangerous because even the politicians at the minute are staying after that Charlie Kirk incident. Even the politicians are quite the low key ones that are like have to walk around and stuff. Even they are like a little bit like, you know, shaky on this part because unfortunately there are people that believe so strongly about this that they are willing to kill to protect their right to go into that bathroom.
So this is the reason the likes of Antifa and eventually the letters after the LGBT will be part of a terrorist movement. And this is why you're losing your freedom of speech, because of people like this.
Thank you, Abby, for sharing the live.
That are calling for arms, are calling for... This is radicalization of the left. This is madness. This is absolute madness. If somebody asks you not to use a bathroom, it's not a bad thing. Do you know, last night, I was at Lady Gaga, wasn't I?
Okay.
You can imagine the array of people, right? I never saw one person that I wouldn't have shared a bathroom with. Do you get what I mean? It was like, there was men with beards and dresses and on all sorts. It was beautiful. I didn't care. I saw those men using the disabled bathrooms when they were free, as to not upset anybody. So if you don't want to use the male or the female, let's have gender neutral toilets. a general, everybody can
Yeah,
use.
a lot. That seems to be quite common now. I went into a restaurant recently, and it was like that. It seems to be very common now. A lot of people are going to say, though, it's all we live in this world where we have to worry and we have to assume the worst because there's some real bad people out there, and they come in all shapes and sizes. A lot of people will say 6 and 7 know their victims, it's difficult. And what I saw a video today, a podcast, and there was some very, 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 very passable transgender people, and what they were saying was that if you don't pass and you don't fit in, you've got no right to go into female bathrooms. And the co-host, I think it's Adam from PBD, he was saying even to that person that was reasonably passable, I would say, you don't belong in there either, sort of thing. So even that, do you not think it's a bit unfair when if you're passable and you look like a woman, you can go in the girls' toilets, but when you're not passable, you can't go in the women's toilets? I think that's where I try to sort of keep a balanced argument, and I say,
I totally get that. Like I say, I looked at all those people, and there are one or two people that weren't very passable, right? But I wouldn't have a problem with them using the bathroom. I really, 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 really wouldn't. It's those other ones, the ones, not just because he looks like he's a danger. And I'll say this again, right? Men becoming women, you haven't been women long enough to know the dangers. Now, I'm not calling all men here, but of being alone in a confined space with a man that's a wrong un.
Yeah.
You've not been a woman long enough. Like I've said to you a couple of times, we've grown up over the years being told, be careful when you go out. Don't wear a short skirt. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because there are men that will take advantage of it. And again, I am saying not all men. I am saying the wrong ones. We've been brought up with that. So if you're standing in a bathroom and a guy walks in, basically with a beard and a frock on, right, and looks like he shouldn't be walking around school playgrounds, nah, not happening. I would say, I would actually say, do you want to use my disabled key?
Yeah. I can't even, and I imagine this because obviously this movement is quite new. But in your, Kitty, you've been around a while. You've been a bit older in the tooth. But can you imagine maybe even 20 years ago, you'd be on a podcast having to justify why you don't want to share your bathroom with
30 years ago, I was living in Ibiza, right? I was doing the seasons in Ibiza. Now, we all know the beauty of Ibiza is in Ibiza town, there is a big sort of, let's say, I don't know whether we call it transvestites.
Part of the LGBTQ plus community.
And they'd stand next to you and you wouldn't even know, right?
Yeah.
Until they open their mouth or you turn and you'd catch a little bit of Adam's apple. Not a problem. Not a problem. But that was Ibiza. So you knew that that's what you was walking into. It's like walking into like Thailand. You know that there are ladyboys. You know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
well, to be fair, the men going to Thailand, we know what they're really going for. You've got all these tourists that it makes me laugh when I hear about. Oh yeah, we're going on a lads' holiday to Thailand. Yeah, it's a lovely place, mate. Lovely cheap beer and stuff, mate. We know why you're going to Thailand, mate. We know why you're going to Thailand.
Fox in Fox, love. We know. We've got you sorted.
Yeah.
But 30 years ago, like I say, I was quite open-minded. Do I think I'd have been talking about this on a podcast happening in the UK or in America? Hell no. Hell no. The freedom of Ibiza was the freedom of Ibiza. That was the beauty of Ibiza. You could be exactly who you wanted to be.
Marie, make sure you do send me a message and we'll get you on another day. Kitty, do you want to come over to TikTok for the last 10 minutes, okay? Guys, thank you very much for joining on YouTube, X, all the rest of the other lovely platforms that you're on. Make sure you come and follow us on our other platforms as well. TikTok, we'll be doing another 10 more minutes. Peace and love to you guys. Come over, Brudsy Entertainment. Have a good one, Marie. Peace and love to you. Let's change the Wii camera.